Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to use our notebook, our rectangle page, and rectangles, not rectangles. We have the I am a page, but I'm not going to use this. So that's just an extra page. I changed my mind after I already made your guys' packets. Again, the top and the bottom of the page are the same, so you can cut the page in half and just use one. Okay. I'm going to start with drawing and naming shapes. I'm going to cut out the large square, and I'm not going to cut right here. I'm just cutting around the big long rectangle, and then I will show you what we're going to do. So we are working with shapes. And remember, these are called 2D shapes or two-dimensional. And what that means is that these shapes are flat. Okay? They only have one face. That's what we call a side of a shape, is a face. So if I'm looking at this rectangle right here, it only has one face. But if I look at my dry erase eraser, it's a rectangle, but it's a three-dimensional shape. This side is a face, this is a face, this is a face, this side, I'm trying not to flip it. This side is a face, this end is a face, and this end is a face. So this is a three-dimensional object that has more than one face, whereas this just has this. I can't turn it on its side. I can't flip it over. It's just here. So two-dimensional shapes have one face, all of them. A two-dimensional or a 2D square has one face. The circles that we learned last week only have one face. What I would like for us to do is to put our reading finger underneath our I can statement first. And I'm going to read it once, and then I'd like you to read it the second time with me. Are you ready? I can draw and name shapes. Okay, let's read it together. I can draw and name shapes. Good job. What I would like for you to do is to trace the word rectangle. T-A-N-G-L-E. Rectangle. Okay. Then, up here, it says bold right here. We're ignoring that. On this line, I want you to practice writing the word rectangle. R-E-C-T-A-N-G-L-E. Rectangle. Once you've traced the word and you've written the word up on this line, then we're going to go through and we're going to trace the rectangles. Rectangles can be all different sizes, but the thing that makes it a rectangle, I don't know, that one looks pretty close. The thing that makes it a rectangle is that it has two sides that are the same, two sets of equal sides. So there's always going to be two short sides and two long sides. There's two short sides, two long sides, two short sides, two long sides. Okay? It can go up and down this way, or it can go across this way, but there's always going to be two short sides and two long sides. This one made me look at it, and I really had to look at how many dashes were on each side. And the sides right here are just a scooch shorter than these sides. This one's almost a square. As I'm saying that, I remember that rectangles can't be squares, but squares cannot be rectangles. No. Squares can be rectangles. Rectangles cannot be squares. Alrighty, when you're done with this, we're going to move on to sorting different kinds of shapes. So for this one, we're going to cut out the I can statement. We're going to cut out the rectangles and the not rectangles. And then we're going to cut out each of the little squares. So we have lots of cutting for this one. If you need to pause your video to cut this one out, that is perfectly okay. And we're just going to put this on the bottom of our rectangle page, right in this open area. So I'm going to scoop my notebook up a little bit so you can see the bottom. And I have my I can statement. So I'm going to put my I can statement right there, kind of line it up. I have one label, because we're labeling the sides, right? We're sorting. There's rectangles. And this one is not rectangles. So we're not sorting all of the different shapes. We're just saying, yes, it's a rectangle, or no, it is not a rectangle. Okay. Alright, if you need to pause the video to finish cutting, you can. So I have all my shapes in a pile, and I'm just going to go through the pile and put them where they go. Does this look like any of these? No. This is a 3D shape when we were talking about the faces. So this is a face, and this is a face, and this is a face. This shape also has more than these faces, but we can see 3 faces. But it is not a rectangle. Is this a rectangle? It sure is. What about this one? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if a rectangle short sides are on the side or the top. Okay. Is this a rectangle? No, not the cone. Is this a rectangle? It looks like a square, right? Squares can be rectangles because they fall in the definition of having 2 sides that are equal, and these 2 sides are equal length. That is what makes something a rectangle. So this one is a rectangle. A rectangle cannot be a square though, because a square has to have all 4 sides the same length. Is this a rectangle? No, we learned about this last week. That's a circle. And what about this one? This one's a triangle, right? Not a rectangle. What about this last one? Is this a rectangle? Yeah, the last one's a rectangle. So we have, let's count how many rectangles we had. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 shapes that are rectangles. Let's count how many shapes are not rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 shapes that were not rectangles. Great job sorting your rectangles and shapes that are not rectangles. You guys did a great job. And I know that it is a little bit confusing with squares, but you just have to remember that with rectangles, they have to have 2 sets of equal sides. Okay? And then this one is not a rectangle because it has more than one face. It's not a 2D shape. This is a cube. It's a cube. A dice or an ice cube. Okay. I hope that you guys had fun doing your shapes. After you get them glued into your notebook, you can color them if you would like, and I hope that you have a good day.